I'm just gonna preempt this rant for those who have to claim my channel as violence. What it will be more accurate to say that my channel claims are rather than violence are consequences towards them. Is the behaviours of the men that they would otherwise be cheating or manipulating or simply simping into oblivion. They are suddenly ignoring these bitches and miscellaneous unworthies as, frankly, they don't deserve.
Darren,
The
are you okay?
irony in the
Can you explain to me
use
calmly?
of the term violence is something
I'm
I've
not attacking
only
you,
glossed
ma'am.
over, or rather hinted at for something rather interesting, is all actions with or interactions with bitches, and unfortunately very frequently women altogether, are indirect. So they claim that this is violence towards them, mere words mind you, is because that is their typical form of violence. Or, looks like they want to get me. So they claim that this is violence towards them, mere words mind you, is because that is their typical form of violence, as it is consistently social manipulation and reputation destruction that they go for. Words, especially words that already have a connotation toward them, like the perversion of the term man, which would otherwise just be the penis havers who are adults, adult penis havers, those who are expected to retrieve rather than receive, has been turned into a sexist claim of the wrongs with the world, the evil, despite the historically and to this fucking day, we continue to step up as the protectors and providers for you. This is to completely acknowledge that pretty much all violence towards women is shunted and ultimately accepted by the sex that it is instead put onto. Because instead of the whole women empowerment thing resulting in women being half the bodyguards getting their fucking faces emptied, it's just double the men. And the only women who are involved in any sort of henching or bodyguarding, if you haven't picked it up yet, I'm talking about movies and shows and shit. Whenever women are henchmen and bodyguards, they are the uber elite who are more than likely killing specifically men of specifically their own fucking team to emphasise that. Or they are the absolute heads generally. Because we can't have any sort of depiction that is violence against women. That's sexist. Just look at all the men who are constantly getting killed. That's not sexist. That's not sexist. That's not choosing an action based on one's sex. That's not levying protection to a group based on how they are perceived sexually. This is to include the gays in the protections that women receive. No, every miscellaneous grunt that is merely a thing to beat up is male. More specifically in movies and TVs, less so in video games, but I assume that is more just to up the gameplay loop. Granted, whenever you have a female in games, who obviously in this case an antagonist, is pretty much always better than the physically better, not very physical, is always better in some manner than the typical grunt heel. The not even grunt, think of the word grunt. So women overall, although sadly, and I suppose more inclusively, bitches are privy or privileged to a great deal of protections in all things, although very specifically in any claim of violence is my stating merely things that bitches do should be accounted for and acted upon will be claimed as violence because, accountability and consequence for a group that has been historically protected from such consequence interpersonally or often financially instead of than in one's own relationship. Cheating and male paranoia due to whether knowing if kid is actually yours is women get to boot them out. Get heavy quotes. It's a strange balance. Is women get the peace of mind that their child is theirs, but not so much today. But historically, they got to have their bodies destroyed to have that, as do men, or at least men used to, as we would expect to have a family, have the peace of mind that someone cared about and loved us. Maybe even for who we are. Because again, the annoying competition, indirectly the sexual competition, because bitches. So we used to get someone who we thought liked, loved us, and all it cost was the majority of our time in the body that maybe we might have even made something of, because work and it's just work really to bring in money for the home. Something that men are ironically still quite rather amenable towards, despite the many of the stereotypes around the mythical 50s. It's that the stereotypes of the time are not only the good but also the bad. It is the mailman fucking your wife because you're never home. As she turns your kids against you because they never get to see you and don't get to hear your part of the side, at least not in time. But people still vie for these times. I don't know why. Nevertheless, violence, there was the episode. Women are able to spout wherever they want, kill the men, kill all men. It doesn't matter if they're being specific or not, they never are. Meanwhile, men, because sexual competition, we kind of have to be specific. Hell, that's kind of what countries and nations were thing. It's certainly a communal, a shared set of beliefs and goals, culture, ultimately. There's also someone, or rather, being around others that you have to concern yourself with less, comparatively, relatively less than being, how do I say, I don't know, put up a depiction of white flight and try to piece that out if it's not just people being a racist, oneself and all that. Nonetheless, these protections are extended in kind of any direction, as the quote-unquote violence will show that it is only concerned with in one direction. One direction is the miscellaneous girl streamers calling people for doxing and hits, while the male streamers don't have enough people, aren't drawing enough attention, so they're just told to go. Although this violence towards men can be understood as rather similar to the free ladies' night at bars, companies themselves. Companies are incentivized to bring women in, not because they are bringing anything in financially or skill-wise, but because they will bring in the people who will. That the guys, the sexist nerd I was talking about in a couple of episodes ago, is the desperate guys will continue to dump money into a channel. I gotta look into the male streamers. For all I know, it's a bunch of gay guys and women who are just tossing money at these guys.
Yeah, I'm a baller on a budget.
Nonetheless, this is ultimately why guys don't get as many privileges or protections in these cases as unless you're bringing in a bunch of rich twinks. You're not really getting attention, or rather favour. That voice is disgusting.